Blake Lively has asked the judge to throw out Justin Baldoni's vengeful and rambling suit against her.
From backstage whispers to a jaw-dropping $400 million lawsuit.
Blake Lively blasted Justin Baldoni's vengeful and rambling $400 million lawsuit against her as a profound abuse of the legal system.
Ryan filed the dismissal docs Tuesday, calling Justin thin-skinned.
The drama behind It Ends With Us is rattling so-called power couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
They're trying to be positive and support each other. There are good days and bad days for both of them. So I don't know if this is supposed to be like, is this supposed to make people feel sorry for them?
And pitting them against Justin Baldoni in ways I never saw coming.
Reynolds said he believed Baldoni harassed his wife on the set of It Ends With Us, which led to the two sides suing each other. An eagle-eyed X user has posted side-by-side pictures of Reynolds as nice fool and Baldoni, leaving the observers stunned at the uncanny resemblance between the two images.
Buckle up. The real-life battle unfolding here is more explosive than any script.
That wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that, and sometimes I would have people who really resented that. I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled.
Ready to see just how deep this Hollywood feud goes?
Mr. Reynolds now attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that bullying is not acceptable, he added. After lighting a match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames.
It's more than just a spotlight showdown. We're talking allegations of SH, defamation claims, and a battle for control that keeps digging their grave. But in a twist, Blake Lively has just requested the court toss out Baldoni's charges, shifting the entire narrative at breakneck speed.
These people are an absolute abomination, and now they want sympathy, but Justin Baldoni is just thin-skinned. Well, we can say the same to you.
Where did it start? Where will it go? Each revelation seems more startling than the last, and it's getting hotter by the minute.
Like, hey, obviously, like, this guy's gay, no hard feelings, but this is not how straight men text, and it was really hilarious and also kind of cut through all of the red tape.
Have you ever sensed that something chaotic was brewing in Hollywood, even when every public photo looked friendly and polished? Sometimes, behind-the-scenes tensions erupt like fireworks and leave audiences shocked by just how far the feud can go. In this unfolding legal saga, we have Blake Lively, star of multiple critically acclaimed films.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Ryan Reynolds, the shining star who's never out of the spotlight.
You want to take a break from Blake? Sure.
And Justin Baldoni, known for his heartthrob roles and charismatic persona. Their conflict has grown from speculation on social media into official accusations and counter-accusations, with a staggering $400 million lawsuit. If you're hoping for a neat resolution, brace yourself. The story is layered with legal nuance, online speculation, and personal conflicts that refuse to stay hidden.
She wants this credit, she wants this credit, she wants her edits. And they were able to do this by threatening to release information about them, right? Essentially saying, we're gonna say that there were sexual harassment claims on set, and if we don't get what we want, then there's gonna be big trouble for you.
Let's unravel the frenzy piece by piece, starting from the first sparks and plunging straight into the flames of a feud that has captured global attention. Because once you see how deeply all these threads intertwine, you might never watch these Hollywood favorites the same way again. From the moment an adaptation of the novel It Ends With Us was announced, fans were buzzing. The book's emotional depth, combined with the star-studded cast, seemed like a recipe for cinematic gold. Blake Lively signing on brought instant excitement. Justin Baldoni, riding high on prior successes, joined both as an actor and as a creative force. The anticipation soared, but those on the production knew the atmosphere wasn't always upbeat. Mysterious rumors floated around, whispered disagreements on set, subtle tension during table reads, and a sense that someone, maybe more than one person, felt disrespected. No one could pinpoint exactly when the energy shifted, but it was there, lingering like a silent warning sign.
Who make the decision to speak out against SH or retaliation, whether in the lawsuit or in the press. This meritless and retaliatory lawsuit runs headfirst into 3 legal obstacles, including the litigation, fair report, and SH privileges.
As early footage emerged, pictures of Blake in costume, Justin passionately discussing character arcs, the public had no clue about the underlying friction. Fans were too busy speculating over plot changes, scene rewrites, and how faithfully the adaptation might stick to the novel's twists. Little did they know, real-life drama was overshadowing any fictional tension. In private, deals were being negotiated, boundaries tested, and alliances forged. If only it had ended at those behind-closed-doors squabbles, because before long, it all burst into the open. But that wasn't the whole story. The conflicts on set were just the beginning, and the real bombshell came when official accusations started flying. Everything changed the day rumors emerged of uncomfortable interactions between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Speculation spread like wildfire across social media.
That wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that, and sometimes I would have people who really resented that. I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled.
Some said it was all a misunderstanding, just two driven personalities clashing over creative vision. Others believed it ran deeper, with talk of SH swirling in certain corners of the internet. People scrambled for evidence, splicing interviews, analyzing body language, searching for any sign of real animosity. When Blake's name appeared in connection with legal statements hinting she felt harassed, the chatter reached a fever pitch.
Blake Lively sued Jamie Heath, Justin Baldoni, etc. after they collectively launched a retaliatory social manipulation campaign to destroy and bury her because she privately spoke up about sexual harassment and inappropriate conduct.
Official documents referenced uncomfortable moments on set, though specifics were kept intentionally vague. Attorneys on Lively's side insisted on her right to speak out about any behavior she believed crossed the line. Media outlets devoured every morsel, fueling the narrative with headlines that shouted about scandal and broken trust. Suddenly, lawsuits were piling up. One moment, fans were speculating about a possible cameo appearance in the film. The next, everyone was dissecting legal filings, trying to interpret phrases like severe emotional distress and retaliatory defamation. Both sides began releasing statements, some carefully worded, others more combative. It felt like each new revelation contradicted the last, leaving observers perpetually guessing who was telling the truth. People were stunned. How had a project with so much promise spun this far out of control? Yet, the most stunning revelations were still to come. Justin Baldoni wasn't taking these accusations lying down. In fact, his next move would turn the entire situation upside down, introducing a jaw-dropping lawsuit that demanded a massive sum, $400 million. Anyone who thought Justin Baldoni might quietly settle or walk away from the controversy was in for a shock. Rather than retreating, he filed a lawsuit seeking $400 million in damages. To many, that figure alone was enough to guarantee front-page coverage. It was a sum that vaulted this legal battle from standard entertainment gossip to top-tier news, leaving even veteran Hollywood watchers reeling.
She also slammed the $400 million in damages he is seeking, claiming that he and his Wayfair Studios co-plaintiffs didn't even try to explain its basis, much likely specifically alleged their so-called injuries.
Justin's complaint alleged defamation on multiple fronts, suggesting that Blake Lively, along with certain powerful entities, had orchestrated what he called a smear campaign. He claimed that sensational stories about his alleged on-set behavior were not only exaggerated, but meticulously crafted to destroy his reputation. There were mentions of lost opportunities, shredded business partnerships, and emotional turmoil. Coupled with the extraordinary monetary figure, the lawsuit served as a direct message. Justin was prepared to fight back, and he believed his case was strong. Fans were torn. Was Justin truly a victim of malicious gossip, or was he merely scrambling for a strategy to distract from the original allegations of SH? Heated debates ignited in online forums, with supporters insisting that a man has a right to defend himself against unfounded accusations, while critics argued that such a massive claim reeked of retaliation. Each side hurled accusations, painting the other in dark, villainous shades. But that wasn't all. Justin's legal documents hinted at conspirators, people behind the scenes pulling strings and feeding false narratives to the press. Names like billionaire Steve Surwitz and corporate entities like Wayfair Studios emerged in the swirl of the lawsuit, fueling speculation about who truly wielded power in this battle. The line between personal grievances and big money machinations became increasingly blurred. Just when it seemed like the spectacle couldn't grow any more intense, another household name stepped directly into the crossfire, Ryan Reynolds. And his involvement would unleash a new wave of fan outrage, turning this from a Hollywood spat into a full-blown cultural event. Ryan Reynolds was never just a bystander. As Blake Lively's husband, he naturally supported her through every twist in this evolving crisis. But when official court documents started suggesting that Ryan was more than just a loving spouse, possibly an active participant in orchestrating a mocking campaign against Justin Baldoni, people were stunned. Reynolds' public image had long been that of a witty, sometimes irreverent figure, but hardly anyone imagined he'd be publicly accused of taking it too far. Suddenly, fans discovered a side-by-side image floating online. One of Ryan as a costumed anti-hero, the other of Justin Baldoni, dressed in a superhero costume for a charity event. Observers speculated that Ryan's Deadpool look was intentionally modified to resemble Justin, in a way that mocked him, complete with a man bun and rumored prosthetics to mimic certain facial features. Some posts claimed Justin's hairstyle was for a charitable donation, fueling outrage that Ryan would lampoon someone's philanthropic gesture. Reynolds didn't retreat. In his motion to dismiss the case against him, he derided Justin's allegations as thin-skinned outrage. His attorneys argued that Justin Baldoni simply couldn't handle a comedic jab, but the tone of Ryan's formal legal arguments, making references to Mean Girls-style tactics, set off a firestorm. People weren't used to seeing a star as big as Ryan publicly adopt such scornful language in official documents. Social media erupted. Some fans of Reynolds defended him, insisting this was all part of his cheeky sense of humor. Others were horrified, calling it evidence of bullying. The feud's intensity soared, overshadowing any positivity that once surrounded the movie's production. Even casual observers felt compelled to weigh in on the morality of punching down, especially if the target was already drowning in a legal quagmire. And what happened next would shake up even the most faithful Hollywood watchers. A series of legal motions, accusations of malicious intent, and a line being drawn, Blake Lively on one side, Justin Baldoni on the other, with Ryan Reynolds stirring the pot in ways no one expected. Few arenas amplify conflict like social media. The drama here was swift and relentless, with fans dissecting each piece of evidence. Screenshots of legal filings were passed around like scandalous tabloids, collecting commentary that ranged from measured skepticism to flat-out rage. News accounts reposted transcripts and used sensational phrases about mockery and predatory attacks. Soon, #TeamBlake and #TeamJustin began trending in certain circles. Those who supported Baldoni believed he'd been unfairly targeted. Some pointed to the philanthropic background behind his costume choices and asked how mocking that could be justified. Others recounted his past statements about authenticity and mental health, calling him the ultimate good guy who was now under siege by more powerful forces. Posts urged people to read the lawsuit carefully before labeling him the bad guy. Meanwhile, Lively's supporters rallied around her, pointing to her track record of charitable work, her upbringing of multiple children in the spotlight with Ryan, and her unwavering stance on women's rights. They argued she wouldn't fabricate or exaggerate claims of SH, and since Ryan was known to be fiercely protective, it was only natural he would fiercely defend her, perhaps with a comedic edge that, to some observers, went too far. Amid the noise, a cluster of voices warned everyone not to jump to conclusions. They questioned whether these public spats benefited from context the public simply didn't have. Maybe, they argued, certain receipts existed behind closed doors, ready to come to light in court. Whatever the truth, the drama's emotional toll was obvious. Fans felt whiplashed by each new piece of gossip, and the individuals at the center, Blake, Ryan, and Justin, could hardly log onto any platform without seeing their faces and names dissected mercilessly. But that wasn't all. As the social media storm grew, the legal teams were preparing even more robust filings. Blake Lively's lawyers in particular were about to spring into action, demanding a dismissal and claiming legal protections that could shield her from Justin's gargantuan lawsuit. Any illusions that Blake Lively would shy away from direct confrontation were shattered the day her attorneys filed a motion to dismiss Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit. At the core of her argument was a set of California laws designed to protect individuals who speak up about SH, even if the accused tries to use defamation suits as retaliation. Lively's legal team insisted that her statements, both in legal documents and in media contexts, fell squarely under these protections. In plain language, they argued that Justin's lawsuit was not only baseless, but a profound abuse of the legal system. They accused him of using an exorbitant damages figure to intimidate Blake and others who might support her. And in a twist that many found intriguing, Blake's attorneys threatened that Justin and the associated parties, like billionaire Steve Surwitz and Wayfarer Studios, could end up on the hook for attorney's fees if their case was deemed frivolous. It was a bold move, essentially turning the tables and warning that continuing down this path could backfire for Baldoni's camp. Legal experts chimed in, explaining that if Blake Lively's claims about SH are at all credible or protected under the law, Baldoni's defamation charges could be dismissed swiftly. But no one expected him to simply withdraw. He'd already invested significant resources to file his own claims. Backing down would be humiliating. Observers braced themselves for a messy, drawn-out battle in which each side tried to prove the other was lying or exaggerating. Fans watched with bated breath. Some pointed out that this was exactly why women hesitate to come forward with claims of harassment. Others suggested that the entire scenario was being manipulated by big money interests, overshadowing legitimate grievances. And then there were those who simply wanted to see It Ends With Us finished and released, free from the chaos that now threatened its entire production. But there was yet another voice in the storm. Justin Baldoni's legal team had scathing words for Blake, Ryan, and anyone else who tried to minimize their lawsuit. They cast this story not as a stifling of a victim's voice, but as a systematic effort to tarnish Justin's image. In their eyes, Ryan Reynolds was equally liable, maybe even more so, and the fiery statement they released pointed to a grueling showdown ahead. On Blake's side, attorneys Mike Goddell and Ezra Hudson doubled down. They repeated that Baldoni's claims were a direct violation of California's anti-SLAPP protections, which exists specifically to prevent wealthy or influential figures from scaring people into silence with the threat of massive legal costs. They suggested that Justin and Wayfarer Studios' attempt to sue Lively into oblivion was laughably misguided. If anything, they argued, it only placed a heavier financial burden on Baldoni's team for bringing a lawsuit that allegedly had no substantial foundation. Spectators marveled at how personal everything sounded, both from the stars themselves and from their attorneys. Usually, Hollywood legal fights are cloaked in formal language. Here, dramatic phrases like epic self-own and profound abuse were used with abandon, giving the feud a scorched earth quality that was impossible to ignore. But the biggest question remained, where does the production of It Ends With Us stand, and how badly is this lawsuit overshadowing the film's future? The next developments were set to shift even more focus onto the potential fallout for all careers involved, leaving an entire fandom wondering if this adaptation might end in heartbreak, for viewers and for the stars themselves. Industry analysts pointed out that multi-million-dollar productions hinge on audience goodwill. If the audience sees a project as tainted by scandal, ticket sales and streaming numbers can plummet. Each new headline about the lawsuit risked overshadowing any conversation about the film's artistic merits. For producers, this wasn't just juicy drama, it was a very real threat to the bottom line. But that wasn't the whole story. Even as some fans expressed disgust over the controversy, others were more intrigued than ever. Paradoxically, the enormous attention might drive interest in seeing how the final film turned out. Human nature is drawn to conflict, and this situation had conflict in spades. Perhaps, ironically, the negative publicity could result in bigger box office numbers if viewers flocked to watch the drama-laden production. It was an unpredictable gamble, one that executives likely weighed behind closed doors. In any case, the lawsuit showed no signs of quietly disappearing. Every legal motion seemed bigger, bolder, and more dramatic than the last. And so the question remained, would the final outcome set a precedent for how SH claims and retaliatory defamation suits intertwine in Hollywood? Or would it all fizzle into a hushed settlement, hidden from public view? Sometimes Hollywood controversies fizzle out in a private settlement. Other times, they explode into a spectacle that changes public perception forever. For Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni, it's too soon to know which direction their tumultuous conflict will take. What we do know is that the stakes couldn't be higher. Careers, reputations, and a fortune in potential damages hang in the balance. In the meantime, the public remains hungry for answers. Did Blake Lively truly endure unacceptable behavior on set? Or are Justin Baldoni's defenders correct in claiming she exaggerated? Was Ryan Reynolds simply joking around as he's done for years? Or did he cross a line into bullying territory? Is Justin a victim of orchestrated defamation? Or is his massive lawsuit just a power move to discredit Blake? Legal experts predict that more details will spill out in court filings, depositions, and strategic leaks to the press. Fans may finally see the receipts each side claims to possess. But no matter how clearly the truth emerges, the damage may already be done. The trust that once existed on set and among certain fan communities feels shattered, replaced by skepticism and outrage. Still, a faint hope lingers that these parties might find a resolution, allowing It Ends With Us to move forward with less drama, overshadowing its storyline. After all, fans originally rallied around the adaptation out of pure love for the novel and excitement over seeing Blake and Justin share the screen. If they ever find common ground, it might be because everyone would rather see a beloved story brought to life than watch each other's careers burn in legal infamy. Until that day arrives, the narrative keeps evolving, promising more twists at every turn. And we'll be right here, watching how it all unfolds. Because in Hollywood, reality often outshines even the wildest fictional plots. This saga, with its massive lawsuit, social media firestorms, and high-profile players, proves just how enthralling and devastating a real-life scandal can become. Stay alert, because any moment now, another piece of evidence or a new court decision could flip the script yet again. No matter who emerges victorious, the ripple effects will likely touch everyone who dared to speak, accuse, or defend. In a world where reputations rise and fall with a single tweet, the ultimate legacy of this messy high-stakes battle remains one of Hollywood's biggest open questions.